Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. Today I've got a few different songs that I've been working on that I thought I would sort of show you, and then we can see what works, what doesn't, and kind of come to a few conclusions about what songs are worth pursuing, what songs aren't, that kind of thing. And it's just a general exchange of ideas really. So the first one is one that I've been working on for a while. I kind of came up with the idea on a live stream that I did, because it was just, the whole point of it was just we're going to write one song, and so I kind of asked the chat, oh, what's some negative things in the world? And a few people said a few different things, and I kind of just chucked them all into a song, and the song ended up becoming about aging and how, you know, I'm not particularly old now, but I see some old people and they look kind of miserable, and I think, am I going to be like that when I grow up? You know, proper old and stuff, and I didn't really want that to happen, and it made it, you know, ignited a few emotions in me, and I thought, let's make something out of that. So I kind of came up with this little thing. It's in G Mixolydian. So, have no time to practice my guitar because I have to go to school. When I get back, I do my tax return. The IRS take me for a fool. I tried to say goodbye, and I say goodbye. So that's kind of an idea that I came up with, and it's just a verse and a bit of a chorus. I kind of came up with this sort of. But the problem is that because this is all in G Mixolydian, so it's all based around this G. Technically, I think it's a G7, because I'm not doing the whole thing like that. I'm not using the whole of the G chord like that, I'm just using these bits. Right? And I'm just kind of doing it very slowly. Which I quite like, because that gives it a nice droning feel, and I do like songs that have a bit of a droning sort of feel, because it leaves you with a lot of room to sort of have fun with it, because it's in Mixolydian. So you can have a lot of fun with the scale that you're sort of in, and the more that you understand the space that you're playing with, the more you can kind of figure out what works, what doesn't. So as I said, I've got this sort of verse idea, so I like the idea of it maybe starting off like this. And then you got this, which could kind of go over it, you know, a little bit. So you kind of got that, and I had this other idea that I'd come up with ages ago, which is basically just. And that obviously isn't in G Mixolydian, because we're doing, which isn't the same as. So if we were doing it like that, it would. Which that sounds cool as well, and that could be a different song. We could do something out of that. So you could have some fun with that, but for the sake of this, I thought I would do this. So instead of that. Which then, if we wanted to, say, move it up, so instead of... you could have... and it's just about finding interesting ways of kind of coming back. I'm not necessarily too keen on this. Because that sounds a bit... that's a lot of tension within there, because that's clearly some kind of diminished, suspended something. Look, this isn't a video about music theory, it's about music vibe, I guess, where you're just trying to figure out what sounds good, what doesn't. Because something I like about Mixolydian, is you can just have a bit of fun with it and just figure out what works inside of that scale. So let's pretend that we did this in major, right? Now that to me doesn't have the same amount of impact, but it's not like G major sounds bad, it's just not fitting for this song which works in Mixolydian. Because you can... because Mixolydian's not that far away from major anyway, it's basically the same as major, but it's just that instead of... those two sound a little bit different, don't they? Because we're doing a half step as a seventh, whereas this is a lowered seventh on the Mixolydian. And then, you know, just try and figure out things that are easy that also sound cool. Like I've recently been doing this. And that to me sounds cool. And you know, you don't have to necessarily stay within this Mixolydian thing. You know, if you watch a lot of like music theory YouTubers that talk about like modes and scales and stuff, they'll often say that, you know, you don't want to lose the tonality. And yes, to a degree, because you want the holisticness. But if you're doing it for a specific reason, there's no reason that we can't just dip into a bit of minor, because like right now, that could be Mixolydian, as we've already established. But you heard I did an accidental sort of sharp there. So at first it's an accidental. Now it's minor. See? And say we want to then go from... now maybe we're a bit sick of that, so... so you can have a bit of fun in how you're actually approaching the scale that you're using, because I work in scales. Some people work in chords and they'll think like, this is A minor, C, G7, and then maybe they'll... you know, and it's a good way of working things, and I should certainly put more emphasis on chords when I'm thinking about stuff, but I tend to think in terms of scales, so I think of this as just like G minor. And then say if I'm bored of that and I want to just do G Phrygian. And already it's just, because it's just changing little things. It's still the same basic chord scale shape. So say if we just did it in pentatonic. See? So you're kind of still doing the same thing, and then you're doing this pentatonic. I'm just trying to bring it back to pentatonic. Now let's bring in a scale. Now let's try another scale. Let's try Lydian. So you see, you kind of just making tiny little adjustments, because that's all these modes are. They're just slight variations of either major or minor. And some of them are variations of major, like Mixolydian is basically a variation of major. And by the way, I don't pretend like I know anything about this. So if I'm wrong, please like point it out. I'm not even doing Mixolydian, I'm doing minor at this point. But it's not necessarily minor, because so now it's Dorian. And you know, now you're doing a bit of this. Sure, it's Dorian because it's got that, but Mixolydian also does that. The only difference is, as opposed to, what would it be? So that's Dorian. So you see, there's a lot of different ways that you can manipulate these modes to, you know, have fun with the music that you're actually making. It's not difficult to start working with things once you kind of understand it, right? And I never like learned proper music theory and stuff. I never went about that route. I kind of just started by making stuff, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't work, and just adapting it to my own sensibilities. So I like to think in scales because I enjoy a bit of scalage. I should not be playing with that bottle cap. It'll break the strings. So I think just to wrap this up, I'll show you another song that I've been working on. I've been working on it with my girlfriend. It's called Lost Little Lizard, right? She came up with the basic idea of it, and we started writing it together. Most of the lyrics are her, and I sort of handle the music side of things. So I wanted Lost Little Lizard, right? Lizards, I think of lizards being in the desert, right? So I wanted a bit of a deserty sort of sounding thing. I think that sounds deserty. I think that Phrygian sounds deserty. I think it just sounds very nice and deserty, in a way that Phrygian could only do. So I decided to write the song in Phrygian. So it's got this kind of refrain chorus sort of thing that it sort of returns to, just to establish the Phrygian tonality, because while I mentioned that, you know, you can avert away from the tonalities, I think it's also important if you are going for a specific thing that you establish what that thing is that you're going for so that the audience knows what to get on board with. So the song kind of starts like this. Last little lizard, last little lizard, I'm a last little lizard. I do not know where I am. Last little lizard, last little lizard, I'm a last little lizard. The reptiles have no sat nav. Right? Sounds out of tune, but whatever. So that's the basic refrain that it continuously goes back to. And then there's these kind of semi-verse things. So I'll just do the whole thing just to show you. Last little lizard, last little lizard, I'm a last little lizard. I do not know where I am. A last little lizard wandered into the desert. The reptiles have no sat nav, don't know where I am. And I'm so far from home. If I had some pockets, I could use my phone. Where is the bus stop and where'd I park my car? Go back to the desert, but it's very, very far. And then it kind of ends there, and then I came up with a bit of an instrumentally sort of bridge crescendo-y sort of thing that just takes us into whatever the next part will be, which I think will be a little jam. So it's just this descending thing. Last little lizard, I'm a last little lizard. I do not know where I am. Last little lizard, I'm a last little lizard. The reptiles have no sat nav. Right? And then you could have a bit of fun with it going from have a bit of fun just keeping it up here. Maybe I imagine this being a bit of a, not metal song, but like half acoustic and then half of it maybe a bit more overdriven. So you could do this kind of little, I came up with this semi-breakdown thing that if it was on a metal guitar it'd sound better. Last little lizard found his way back home. Last little lizard found his way back home. And then maybe later on, instead of doing that kind of sort of start-stop sort of thing, you can instead sort of do. So you can have a bit of fun with it, you see. And that I want to just keep in Phrygian, and then instead of experimenting with the scales and stuff like that, instead experiment with the, you know, the rhythm and the arrangement and stuff like that. So it would maybe start off with a bit of... I accidentally took it into Locrian there, which... Yeah, Locrian is the one that is scary for most musicians, including myself, because it doesn't have this. It has this. Which wants to do this? But it can't do that, it can only do this. And it's just hard to work with, so I would recommend, if you're a beginner like I am, don't go for Locrian. and just have fun with it in general. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be the video. Please leave your comments in the thing below about you know, what kind of music theory little tricks and hacks have you used to your advantage to make some songs, to make some art, and how did you manage to make it sound original and fresh and like you? Because I like my modes, right? Modes are fun for me. I enjoy them. Maybe you're not into modes. Maybe you're more into chords or scales or trying to figure out some other, like arpeggiating. I don't know. There's some other part of the music theory world that is, you know, attracting you, and you go towards that. And we all try and find our own little light in this big, you know, world of music. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of the day and so on and so forth. I'm going to wrap this up by just doing a little just jam. I should have used a pick the entire time really, but I'll play this out with a little jam that we're going to do in a general G, and we're just going to have fun seeing what tonalities we kind of get out of it. So as you can see there, I think I used Mixolydian, Phrygian, Dorian a little bit, minor and major. I did all of them except Locrian, so let's just do a bit of Locrian. And fuck it, just cheat. So we're in that little Locrian bit. Say if I was doing a song in Locrian, maybe a nice way of you know, I could bring it up to Phrygian, for instance, to give it some sense of resolution. Or then maybe from Phrygian, because Phrygian doesn't necessarily sound completely like it resolutes either. you see, you can just have a bit of fun with it and just change things up according to what you want. And because all your favourite like bands and artists and stuff don't really think about music theory nearly as much as you think they do. It's like when they say they write a song, it's not like they've got this giant Excel spreadsheet of exactly where this chord goes and then this chord and then this does this and then this does that and then this little saxophone. Like they just think about it, and then they'll say to the bass player, "Oh, do a little bit of this." That's awful, but they might say, maybe they want to make an awful song, so they tell the bass player do that. And then just have a bit of fun with it, yeah. So that's the video. Enjoy yourselves. Go out there and make fun music that is you, that sounds like you, and don't let anyone get in the way. Don't let anyone tell you, you're doing it wrong, because who gives a shit? I mean, the Sex Pistols did everything wrong, and people like them. So, yeah, why should you let anything stop you? Even if you don't want to make music like them, maybe you want to make more complicated music. Make stuff that just works for you. You've got, like, we've got doors and stuff on the laptops and stuff now. So just get a door and you can make the song as you go. You can make, like, little piece A, riff, and then, oh, I want to come up with another bit of a slow bit. And you come up with that. And then that bit's done. What do I want to have come in after that? Maybe a little crescendo, like bum 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 bum. Can't remember what that is. It's something I recognise. I've definitely done a little lick thing. And yeah, just use the modern technology to your advantage. Have a bit of fun. You can Google scales. What I tend to do when I was starting out, I would just G Mixolydian scale guitar, and it comes up, bam, right? And the little black dots, right? The little black dots are what is the root notes. That's the G's. This one's a bit better. So you get something like that up. I used to love these things. I basically used to live with these, and you can get the full fretboard. I never used to bother with like scale positions. I just looked at that. And I'd start about here, and then maybe I'd focus a little bit over here. I know that is scale positions, but I didn't think of it as like scale position 1, scale position 2, scale position 3, or anything like that. I just sort of I just did all the dots, and then I connected all the dots in my mind. So yeah, just go look at this, and then say I don't want to do Mixolydian, say I want to do, I don't know, A Aeolian, which is just minor. And you'll figure these things out as well as time goes on. You'll figure out that, you know, Dorian is basically just minor with raised sixth. You'll figure out stuff like that. Yeah, so here we are. Here's A Aeolian, right, which is just A minor, right? And that's that. So learn that. Just get on these websites. And yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, thanks to the guy who donated me some money so I could get this laptop, because I made a video about how my laptop was fucked. And he just sent me 130 quid and just said, laptop fund. So, fucking hell, I wasn't expecting that. So thanks to, I don't know if he wants to be named, so I won't name him, but thank you very much. I bought this Dell Inspiron. It's pretty good. Yeah, so, bye. I've been saying goodbye for like probably 10 minutes at this point. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I'm doing a little bit of music. The first scene of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence is a bit where like he's like, wow, 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 like that on a stage, right? And it's to introduce a couple things. So first off, we need to introduce that he has delusions of grandeur and that he's a self-aggrandizing kind of person. And second, we need to introduce that he plays music and he goes to open mics and he does all that kind of thing, but he treats it like he's going to Glastonbury kind of thing, you know? So, I've rejigged the song, Communication, which is a song I wrote for my album, Decisions in Another Language, and I've just decided he's gonna just play my songs, the songs that I've done in real life, and then in, you know, marketing, the two can kind of like feed into one another. That's kind of my idea, because, you know, I don't want Jonny Mozza to be someone who can't play guitar. I don't want him to be like an incompetent. I don't want him to be someone that's completely talentless. I want him to be able to like pull out a couple licks, you know, but I just don't think that he should be humble about it in any kind of way. you know, I think it's more interesting to see someone who has some skill, but who thinks he's way better than he is, than someone who has no skill at all. So, the first scene that we did, we shot it last week at the Cross Lancers in Hounslow, right? And I took the footage back and I kind of looked at it, and I liked what we were doing with it. We were using this little mini sort of cam. It's a Canon FS100. I really like what we were doing with it, and I thought we could take it even further, and we could use this as a chance to have some fun with creativity and lighting, and you know, really going balls to the wall with the actual filmic side of things. Because in his mind, he would be playing like a Glastonbury or like the Red Rocks amphitheatre, you know. You know, he'd be playing something that's way above his station, and he'd be treating it so seriously. So I like the idea that he's doing all like, and then like, you know, we've got all these lights going around him. We've got I've got this light that's on like a stick that you can kind of swing like that, and so he's just gonna, you know, and he's just gonna look like a fucking rock star. So this is your introduction to him, because this, I think, is a great way of introducing everything. Right, so I've rejigged the song Communication to be 1 minute and 20 seconds rather than the 11-minute fucking thing that it is on the album, because I don't think anyone's actually gonna sit down and watch an 11-minute intro. But I think a minute and a bit is all right, especially because we've got a couple little plot beats to introduce as well. I like the idea that he kind of, when I go and do stuff with the actors, what I'm planning on doing is like just going to get one shot of them like this and just zoom in on them. And that should be quite good. Shut up. Hang on. There we are. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. I'm going to basically make this a bit of a semi-dream sequence, and then it's going to cut back to the Cross Lancers when he finishes, and the audio quality kind of dips, because we're going to be going from the soundboard sort of sound, which you're going to hear in a second because I'm going to use it for this video. So that's an idea of what you're going to hear in the film. And then it's going to cut to the actual audio, the room audio in the Cross Lancers. So it's like, you know, here's what he thought he was doing, and here's what he's actually doing. And that then leads into the conversation he has with John Henry's Leo Mickens, where he's going on about, oh, it feels like no one appreciates my music, blah, 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 all that kind of crap. So what we're going to do, I should really have bothered to prepare some of this first, shouldn't I? So, just got to put the headphones in. I'm going to run you through kind of what's going on here. So this is some form of Stratocaster. Don't know what, it's a red Stratocaster. Shut up. And that goes into a Crybaby wah. That goes into a looper pedal. I'm not sure what the brand is. That goes into a Boss ME50, which is basically my bread and butter. Everything comes out of the ME50. And then that goes into this little EQ pedal, which I don't really use, but it's good for a bit of gain, you know. Sometimes I like to chuck a bit of gain on it, or like if the high end's coming through, and like noise is feeding back, or that kind of thing. Or like I never really use it to like chop the mids or whatever it is, that kind of thing. I never really do that with it. Maybe I should. And then that's just going into a Marshall Code 25. Which is just a pretty good amp. I've got it set to some setting that I downloaded off the internet. It's called Best Metal Tone, and sounds a bit like this. So I think that sounds pretty good. So what we're going to do... Ah! That's very loud, that's very loud. Ah! Oh! There we are. Nearly fucking... Right, turn that down all the fucking way, please, because I do not want to be deafened. Right. So, as I said, I've adjusted the structure of the song. I wanted to still have a bit of singing, and I still wanted to have room for the guitar solo, so... So yeah, I wanted to have a bit of fun with that kind of thing. What do you fucking want? Okay, you're just flashing for some reason. But we need to get this done because that is about to run out of battery. So let's play. Look in the mirror, who do you see? Is it somebody who really loves me? Please don't touch me anymore. I do not need to know my flaws. I'm finally allowed to soar, and nobody will force me down. Caught up this with my bare hand, and I do it 1,000 times. Throw it back into the sea. I'm finally free. And then Jonny Mozza goes, "Thank you, Hound Lord." Just starts having just goes stupid with it. Oh, shut up. Right, so that's given you a bit of an idea as to what we're doing. We're going to be shooting that next Friday. Got Oleg and Hadid coming down for that. It's just a basic little shoot because it's just me. Main complication is going to be getting all the light equipment and the guitar and stuff down. Going to be shooting it down at Warren Farm, which I've shown you Warren Farm. This is what Warren Farm looks like. It looks fucking sick. So we're going to play it there. We're going to do it at twilight, so it's going to look all like rock and roll. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Can't fucking wait. Have a good one. Have a fucking good one. Yeah, hope you got something out of this. Some form of seeing the process in action. You know, hope it was useful. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. I need to stop doing that weird American accent. I don't know what that is. Hey up, everybody. My name's Joshua Morrison. I'm the director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit around things that you find on the side of the road. I like to go for a lot of walks around my local area. I like to pick up things that I come across and take them back with me, and I've found a fair few things in my day, so I thought I'd show you a few things that I found and sort of encourage you to keep a lookout for things that people just leave out because they want rid of stuff. Some people are having a clear out and they've just got loads and loads and loads of crap that they need to get rid of. So, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, as they say. So first off, we got Jazz Classics, taught by Pat Donahue. Now this is I've not actually watched it because I do have a VCR, but I haven't plugged it in or anything like that. I don't have a telly. That's the problem. I don't have a television, so I'm looking forward to watching it when I get the chance to. It's probably on YouTube, to be fair. The entire thing, I bet, is on YouTube. But it's nice to have it on this. It's nice to have VHS tapes. I like my VHS tapes. I've got all down here is loads of VHS tapes. I can't be asked to show you them, but because it would mean pulling. I've got this light here, and there's loads of stuff on it. So whatever. So I've got that, and I am pretty damn satisfied with it. That's one thing that I found. Next up, found True Romance director's cut on DVD. It's not my favourite. It's good. It's a good film. Preferred From Dusk Till Dawn. But you know, it's got all sorts of. Look at that. Look at the way it does that. There's so many bits, and then there's bits on the back. You know, you've got all sorts of bonus features. You've got you know, it's just a fun little thing. And it's completely free. This is the sort of thing you would get in a charity shop for like £2.50. So, again, pretty happy with that. Next up, this is a bit stupid, but I don't actually have an Xbox, but I found Halo Reach and Halo 4. And I've been meaning to give them to a friend, actually. I got them with that friend in mind, because they've got an Xbox and I don't. And, you know, I just thought, I'll pick it up for them. So, got both of them. Never played Halo, but apparently it's pretty good. So, that can go there. Next up is something I do quite like, is a fairly dirty copy of The Office on DVD, series 1 and 2. Look at this. It's another one of these. So you got so much stuff on it. I presume, yeah, series 1, series 2, and then you've got like little extras and stuff like that. Oh no, the first 2 DVDs are the complete first series, and the third disc is the complete second series. Weird, they both have the same amount of episodes. Huh? I don't understand. Oh well. It's a fun little thing. I quite enjoy it. Some nice little bits of art. You know, I like the kind of minimalist kind of thing they're going for. Feels very much, you know, the kind of thing that The Office is. So it's cool. It's a nice little thing. I like it. I like my British sitcoms. Hence the next thing, which is one of my favourite shows, Peep Show, series 1 to 5. Now, I find that these kind of box sets are always kind of pointless. Because you know what happens? When Peep Show was on series 3, you could get series 1 to 3 on DVD. And then they come out of series 4, so they make a new box set, series 1 to 4. Then they come out of series 5, another box set. There's a box set out there that I saw at a charity shop that was £15, and it was Peep Show series 1 through 8. What's the point? What's the point of that? What's the point of having a box set of 8 out of the 9 series? Especially when they're all pretty good series. Then I wanted to show you my crowning jewel. It's a Alesis mixing desk sort of thing. It's brilliant, this. You plug stuff in, you can do EQ, you can have fun with it. I looked this up, this apparently cost about £150 new. It's clearly had some real use. Someone's puts these felt things on the back. So whatever they were doing, they had it locked down in a specific spot. I imagine they had a problem with it kind of shimmying around, which I have felt like if I'm doing a bit of that, it does kind of jiggle a little bit. Yeah, it's a really nice little thing. It's got some effects. I don't really use the effects, to be honest. I don't think the effects on this are particularly great, but you know, I've got effects pedals for that kind of thing anyway, so you know, it's not really a problem. So I want to try and keep this theme of like things sort of cluttering the desk. I'm gonna have to take it down because this is my true crowning jewel. Ooh. Check this, right? This is something I am so happy with. I found this when I was walking back home from high school about 9 years ago, I want to say. 9 years ago? No, it would have been longer than that. It's been like 11, 12 years ago. Time flies. Check that out. How cool does that look? Maybe it's not your kind of art. It's my kind of art. I like it. I just think it's so much fun. I think it's such a cool bit of art. When I first found it, it was in a really crap case. It looked a wreck. So I put it in this case for just some painting that I had. And I love this thing. This has stayed there ever since. One of my favourite bits of artwork there. Now looking up about that little section of wall, it just seems so empty now. Next up, do you guys like Rothko? I like him quite a bit. I like all my experimental minimalism, and this is a painting that some people have come over to my house and they've said that is a fucking ugly bit of painting, that. But you know what? I kind of enjoy it. I like the gradient. I like the soothing nature of it. It's not trying to say anything, you know, super in depth. It's not trying to be anything that it's not. It's just a fun little bit of art, and they managed to take quite ugly colours and turn them into something quite pretty. So I just think it's neat. I think it's a cool little thing. It makes a cool noise, actually. Listen to that. I'm gonna do like. It's like a drum beat. That's cool. I should have really not had all of these. Now I'm just taking down all my pictures because the next one up, I like this one even more than that painting, not as much as the first painting I showed you. Check this out. So you got the human brain, and it just sort of goes through, you know, different parts. I don't know how accurate it is. I presume it's fairly accurate. It was actually a fair bit taller, so I don't know if you can see. Let me try and find a way that you can see. It was actually a fair bit taller, so I've had to cut the bottom and the top off. So you got a picture of good health, it says on the bottom, because it was so long that it didn't fit in the frame. But still, it's a really nice little piece of artwork. I love it. I like looking at it and just sort of going like, "Ooh, domestics over here. Ooh, you know, animal is over here." You know, just perceptiveness, and I didn't even perceive it to notice. I just ignored it. So I think that's a really cool painting. A lot of fun to be had with that. And next up is one that has a story to it, because I've used this in a film. If you go onto Amazon and you search up Scorched Earth, you're going to see a scene where the main character, Gillian, played by Charlotte Elizabeth Langley, is fighting a guy played by Jonathan Kilcourse, who was in one of my other films, A Sheffield Psychedelic, and he played a character called Druggy Dave. And in Scorched Earth, they have a fight, and they use this painting in the fight. So if you look at the back, we put this thing through the ringer. If you look at this, you know, it shouldn't really look like that, but it kind of does. So hang on, just trying to put them all in various places. I've got another one of these Rothko things as well. I've got two of them. They're ever so slightly different. I'll show you the difference actually. I forgot that I had all these actually. So I don't know if you can tell the difference straight away, but here's the first one, and here's the second one. Can you tell the difference? Can you tell the difference? I like this one. Yeah, that one's pretty good. So we're going to put that. Running out of space on this. Put it there, I suppose. That works. Oh, yeah, before I forget. Got this little thing, which I'm not really sure what it is. It came with the mixing desk. It's a Samson S Direct. I get the sense it's kind of an equivalent of this sort of thing, like a Focusrite. I presume it's kind of like one of those because it seems to have all the same kind of bits to it, and it feels quite light and hollow, just like this does as well. So it was a pretty cool little find, that. I like it, although I haven't managed to get any use out of it, but it's good to have, and it's good that one day I might get some use out of it. So it's a nice bit of fun. I'm just trying to think if there is anything else that I would like to show you. Oh yeah. Check these out. It's all different parts of Belgium. They're all like little mug holders, mug things. I forgot what they're fucking called. You know, so you stop your tea spilling on the table. I don't know why the word has just completely gone out of my head. But you got Antwerp, you got Bruges, you got Ghent or that, and you got Brussels. There was a couple others, but I didn't take them because those ones looked kind of naff. They were like these sort of naked, kind of fat women, and I think it was trying to be some kind of statement on something, but I don't know what it was saying. It was a bit European for my taste. Yeah, I believe that's everything. I will tell you a quick story about this lamp, this light bulb, which I don't actually have any use for because it's one of those screw-in light bulbs, and I don't have one of those. I've got the B22 thing. I was in the pub, and crackhead came in, sold me that. It also came with 3 jars of Vegemite and a strip light that you can kind of turn on and off by motion sensor. It's not in here. I gave that to my parents, and they use it for their summer house. So 10 quid. I didn't actually want to buy it, but she's a very good saleswoman, so it's there now, and It'll come in useful someday when I figure out some use for it. I think that's just about everything that I have to show you as far as these beautiful items are concerned. And I would just now like to talk to you about the idea of finding stuff out in the middle of the road and taking it back with you, because a lot of people seem to ignore stuff that's out and about, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's like you get judged for it because you're seen as like a scavenger almost, and yeah, that's what this is. It is scavenging, but I mean, there's plenty of species that are all about scavenging, and what are you gonna do if you can't scavenge stuff? You're just gonna go out there and just bloody, buy all this? Some of the stuff I would never have gotten. I wouldn't have gotten this or this or this or any of this artwork. It's just left out by people probably moving house or whatever, and they have no space for this because, truth be told, I mean, if I moved out, I probably wouldn't take this one, but I would definitely take these ones. I'm really just quite happy with my little finds, and I've found so much stuff over the years that I've kind of gone through. This is probably only a 10% of everything that I found across the years. Some stuff I end up getting rid of. Sometimes you can find books on the side of the road, and what you can do, if you download an app called Zifit, you can scan the book with your phone, and it can come with a little price tag. So if you see someone that's leaving out a load of books, you can scan it, and you can make a little bit of money just walking up and down the street. That's why I've got this book here. I saved this tip till the last because that way, you've watched the whole video. Now you get to make some money. So, no idea what this book is, but it was worth about 60p. So, what is it? By Bryony Gordon is a respected journalist. Oh, wait. A #1 best-selling author and an award-winning mental health campaigner. She is also an alcoholic. Okay. Not going to read it. Sometimes you find some good stuff. I like little stories with things. I saw someone that was throwing out the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and like they had a load of those kind of self-help books, and it just made me think that's someone that has tried to improve themselves and has failed. So they've stopped and they've just gotten rid of these books that they're never going to use. So it's like an admission of defeat in a way, even though I don't particularly like that avenue of self-help, because it does tend to veer into nasty bits of politics that we're not going to get into. But I just like going around finding stuff. If you're ever in doubt of whether something's left out, you can always knock on the door and ask, and just sort of say, is that something that you're leaving out for people to take? Because sometimes what they'll do, they'll put free to take on a label, and then they'll put the label on, and then the wind will blow that label away. So you might see something and it might not be sure. Maybe they're just like, it's just out there for a sec while they're, I don't know, putting stuff in the house or whatever. It can be that kind of thing. So, especially if it's something valuable, like it's nice to, make sure that you're not just stealing stuff, because it's, a lot of the stuff to me has significant value, and obviously to someone else it clearly didn't have any value whatsoever. So it's just kind of fun to do, and I encourage other people to do it, and I encourage other people to leave stuff out. I'm often leaving stuff out because I think it's good to give and take, So I put out like old books and movie like DVDs. I used to be huge into collecting VHS tapes. I got way too into it, and I collected about 150. I collected all like loads of John Wayne movies. I was collecting like David Lean epics like Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago, and some other one that I can't remember the name of that was kind of crap. I'm always putting stuff out, and if like I put out a drum kit, for instance, and the guy, I was waiting at the bus stop actually, and a guy came up to me and he sort of said, he started asking about the drum kit, what's going on with the drum kit, because I only had a little bit with me. I was going to take it to the charity shop bit by bit, and I said to him, if you just go to number 22, then you will get you can get the rest of the drum kit from there, because I'm just going to give this away. So I gave it to him. He was talking about how his grandson was going to be using it and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I hope he's playing that drum kit now and he hasn't left it out. But then if he has, then it's up for someone else to take. It's a form of recycling. It's reusing, which is better than recycling. So it's nice to have all these things, and it's nice to collect, and it's nice to, because I'm not a particularly materialistic person, but I like having stuff that has a bit of a story to it. Like, oh, I found that in outside someone's house, or got that for free. I was working on a film with my friend John Henry, and it's called Steve the Stammer's Missing Painting. And there's one bit where woman gets a painting, and she's a bit ashamed that she got it for free, and she's a bit of ashamed to admit it. And it was a really nice painting, and I believe that she would get that sort of thing for free, because I get this sort of thing. I can't read what that says. Pado or OG. I think it's Pado OG. If you see it there. Anyone that can do like zoom and enhance or whatever, just have a look at that. Yeah, thank you for watching this fairly unstructured, fairly rambly video, just where I showcase something kind of nice, something that I like about. I don't think it's just a London-centric thing. I think it happens in all various parts, and it's also region-dependent. Like some boroughs, I very rarely see it, and some boroughs I see it everywhere. Some parts of boroughs I never see it, and some parts of boroughs I see it everywhere. And I wonder if maybe it's a council thing, like council-dependent. Some councils are really like cracking down on it for whatever reason. Maybe they see it as a form of littering or like fly tipping, or even though it's your own property. Oh, for God's sake. Should we count that as the end of the video? I think I can count that as the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me on this little journey through these great artifacts that are quite dear to me, apart from these Halo games, because I don't play Halo or Xbox until I was always a PlayStation kid, so whatever, sod them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Keep a lookout for stuff that you find. You might find something pretty bloody brilliant that might be just like this thing, worth a hell of a lot of money. 150 quid. I could sell that if I need to. So, yeah. Have you finished the video yet? Yeah? You're not doing that thing where you're still rolling, are you? And it's like, oh, these are the outtakes. Because if you are, can you just cut the video